Here we go.
In this part, we're going to say something like we like to have a big family and we like Chinese culture. And that's why we come here to adopt a Chinese baby. And then we will promise we will not abandon her, we will not mistreat her, and we will give her good education and bright future. Very simple like this.
No. Oh, it's so cute.
Okay, wait.
This is me and my daughter Ruby. She's 10 months old. She'll have so many questions that I won't be able to answer. And I wonder, how will I be able to help her build a strong sense of identity when there are so many missing pieces from the early parts of her life? To find those answers, I have to meet the girls who have already walked in her shoes. So for 3 years, I filmed 4 teenagers from across the U.S. to hear about their lives in their own voices. This film is for Ruby.
You can't be a world power without enough people, but with too many people, you don't stand a chance. That's how China sees things, and Bruce Dunning reports on what it's doing about it.
The sheer mass of its more than 1 billion people strains the country's ability to provide even adequate food and housing for all, let alone develop much-needed industries. So this is a sign of the times. One family, one child.
Yes, yes. Jazz, help me. Nothing sings.
Okay. 祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐。Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jenny. Happy birthday to you.
My name is Fang. That's what my family calls me. In school, they call me Jenny. That's my American name. I was adopted when I was 5 years old, or a week from 5, actually, to be exact. And I don't know if that's, April 25th is my birthday, 1993. I don't know if that's my exact birthday. I doubt it is, because the orphanage gives kids their birthdays.
Okay.
Sorry. I can cut the cake. I'm grown up, Mom. I feel like I've been 15 for a long time. My age is estimated, you know, and when you're found on the street, they just make you as young as you possibly can pass by, because the older you are, the less appealing it is. So I don't really know what my real age is, but I don't feel like I'm turning 15.
Okay, I am recording. We are coming. We're here, guys. We are in Kunming. Try to hold this steady. We're at the orphanage. So in April of 1998, I flew to Kunming. Kunming is in the southwestern part of China. In the interim of waiting for her, I decided that I didn't want to adopt an older child without being able to communicate with her, so I studied Mandarin privately. And by the time I adopted her, a year later, I could talk to her.
I remember the day before my adoption day, my mom came to visit me, and I remember her coming up to me and saying, "Xiaofeng, I'm your mom." And I looked at her, sort of examined her face and said, "Mama," and hugged her.
And then right away, she just started talking to me like I was her mom.
那个歌你开始那个歌妈妈
小
示范
巴士乖乖把门开开，快点开开，我要进来。不开不开，我不开，妈妈买回来，现在也不开。小兔子乖乖把门开开，快点开开，我要进来。就开就开，我就开，妈妈回来了，我就把门开。
耶！
妈妈，
太好了，
佩服。
爸爸很喜欢那个歌。
妈妈。
She is drawing some wonderful pictures.
这
Hey.
是妈妈做的，这个是爸爸。
哦，那是妈妈。
这个是爸爸。
是吗？
这个是爸爸。
哦，这个是爸爸。
这个是姐姐。
哦，这个是姐姐。
而且画一个。
She's drawing the whole family.
Fang Fang was our first child, adopted from China. After she had been home for 4 or 5 months, my husband said, I really think we need to adopt another one because the sun, the moon, the earth, everything is revolving around this child. And she is so confident and full of herself. And I think that we should adopt her sister. I don't think she should be an only child. I said, fine with me. Her sister, Jiawen, she's a year older. And our third child was adopted in 2004. And we call her Qing Qing.
Kind of quiet without Daddy.
I know. But
I don't speak any Chinese. When the girls came, they practiced English with me, and they, as just part of the day-to-day interactions, they spoke Chinese with Hani.
妈，你平常说英文，你在干什么？ It's a blessing to be able to know your roots and be able to know the people that you came from. But in a country of billions, you can't find, the chances are slim.
Everyone else's beginnings seemed very sure. You never think about why you were born into a certain family if you're just born there, because physically, in science, it makes sense. But if you're put there, it's different. It's like a different thought.
So how was Martin Luther King Day?
It was good. It was really busy, but it was nice not to have homework from every class.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the dog. How glad she is to see you, Sarah. Do you still have homework?
I have African history reading and notes. That should be an hour and 15 minutes. And then I have the rest of my English reading. That should be 35 minutes. And then I have to study for my Chinese and physics test and rewrite my English paper.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'm pretty much at school from 7:15 to 7:15. Then I get home at 7:45. Then I go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. So it's just a really long day. I started figure skating when I was in kindergarten. So I skated for 11 years. And I was lucky enough to go to nationals 2 times. And now my bigger sport at school is crew. I'm coxing for some of our boats there. Shoulders and up. Okay, walk it out. Attention. Roll 3/4, swing up. Glide, glide, glide. A coxswain isn't supposed to be like everybody else. Their role is really to step out and take initiative and be the one to like stay calm when the team is not calm and really nervous, or the one to say, you know, we had a hard day today, let's take it easy, or I feel like we really need to push it, let's push ourselves. Right with Adria, keep it controlled, nice. When we're sitting in the boat, the rowers, just hear this voice, and you have to be like very enthusiastic and encouraging, and yet you have to be demanding, and you always have to demand the best. So it's a difficult position to be in, but it's pushed me to become better.
I adopted Jenna in 1992, and China had just opened. Jenna's always approached a school or a sport with great thought and almost like a job to be done well.
Overheads and roll. Push it up, straight elbows.
Early on, she became very aware that she was the only Chinese child living in a white town. If you're always being seen and you're never just blending in, of course you want to appear like you've got everything under control and you're doing everything perfectly. Sometimes I've had to encourage her to just kind of relax with things, but it's a big part of who she is.
And forward, up.
My name is Anne Vacuti. I'm 14. I'm in 9th grade and I do color guard and I play the piano. I started color guard in about 7th grade. It's kind of like a reject sport, but you don't want to say that because people won't join. But it's kind of the people who don't necessarily always fit in. A lot of kids will look at me and say I'm Asian, but then like if they're my friend and it's the first time they came over my house or something, they'll be kind of surprised that my parents are white. When you get older, I think it starts to become all of a sudden you don't look like your parents and all of a sudden that's some kind of an issue. But when you're younger, I don't think many kids will notice that and care because to them it's just a regular family. And in many ways it is.
See Anne? Ask Anne where she came from. Say hi, Anne.
Hi, Anne. Hi.
Ask her where she came from.
Where you came from?
I came from China.
Me too.
We used to set a place at the table for Anne before she came, and it was there every night when we had dinner to remind us that eventually there would be a little girl sitting there.
Well, since my parents already had my brother, they had to take a kid who they thought was more special ed. They said that I had X-shaped legs, my eyes were cross-eyed, and I wasn't going to learn as fast. But my dad said that when he looked me in the eyes, he said I'd be fine.
She made no sounds when we first got her. And she was sweating because we were in a nice hotel and it had heat. Well, the orphanage didn't. So she wasn't used to a warm room. It was raining and I opened the windows and the cold rain blew in on her and she instantly went to sleep. When she woke up, she gave me a big smile and it's the way it's been.
I was in an orphanage in China.
Okay.
So,
do you ever want to go back?
I would want to go back to see the orphanage, but I'm not very sure I'd want to see my birth mother.
Oh, yeah.
As a possibility, it'd be quite interesting. If I had the preference, I probably wouldn't meet her, but I'd like to go back anyway, just to see what it's like over there. In one way, my family's not like everyone else's because I'm not biologically attached to them. In every other way, we are. Like, I have chores I have to do. We go places. It's a normal family.
I began playing the violin when I was 3. I like singing and performing for people. I want to be the first Chinese person to play on the Grand Ole Opry. That's like my life goal.
I'm going into the teen pageants, which is like Miss Teen Tennessee and stuff like that. My older sister, Heidi, she won Miss Nashville to go to Miss Tennessee, and that was her picture. I like being like my sister. She's like the coolest person in the world, but I have to be my own person too. I do feel like I stand out a lot. I'm a banana. I'm yellow on the outside and white on the inside.
Do you get your hair cut?
Say my mama does it.
You sure are cute.
She'll be 3 on Thursday. And Haley is 13. And we said we were on the 10-year plan. We've ended it.
Either you did or nature.
Right. Well, we did. They're choices.
We were adopted.
Oh, wonderful.
They're both from China.
Hello, how are you? Good to meet you.
Can you shake her hand?
Congratulations by coming to the United States of America. Yes, are you happy? Yeah, well, boy, aren't you lucky?
People, they're like, oh, you're such a lucky girl to get to live in America. And I'm like, I am really lucky, but something bigger than us had to do with that. I was 6 months old when I was adopted from Anhui, China. My mom, when she went over to adopt me, she saw that the orphanages were really bad and they weren't fit for children to live in. My mom started Annabelle's Wish, and now she's aiding like 12 or 13 orphanages. I've been 12 times, and I go back with my mom, and she helps in the orphanages and brings stuff and pays for surgery and education. My mom says I'm the starter because if it weren't for me, she wouldn't do it, which is pretty cool.
I've been back to China 22 more times since 1995, and we're currently working with approximately 2,000 children. We don't go in preaching the Lord. If I do, the government might throw me out, and then I can't help these little children that are hungry and naked. That's what I want to do, is help those kids. I can't if I'm not in the country.
If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen.
Hey guys, are you ready for the test?
Test? What test?
The spelling test. Didn't you study? How about... I was brought up in a Christian home. I'd gone to church my whole life. And even as a Chinese girl growing up in China, if it was meant to be, I would have found a way to being a Christian. God has everything for a reason, so there must be a reason that this happened and now I'm here. And so I think that it's definitely come into play when you're dealing with adoption.
One of the past, one of the present, and we're gonna cut them up. It could look simple like this, all right? Where kind of one image cuts into the other one. We're forced to deal with how the past relates to the present, how the present takes from the past.
Okay, I probably should do what I'm supposed to do.
People ask me, aren't you ever mad at your Chinese parents? I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the decisions that everybody made, especially my mom. So, and from the memories I have of her, I knew that she wanted me. If nobody else wanted me, she did. I remember my Chinese mom, my birth mother. I remember she had long gray hair and It was always braided, and my dad, he chopped firewood for a living, and we lived in the countryside in a little shack with one bed. I remember my mom piercing my ears. I think I was about 1 or 2. And so I guess, other than myself, it's the only proof that my mom, and my father ever existed, my birth parents. In China, back then, my dad, he really needed a son, and I was essentially a mistake to him. I wasn't supposed to be a girl. I remember my mom, she said to me, "I'm going to visit your grandparents, I'll be back soon." And she just handed me over to my stepbrother. And my stepbrother, he was about 20 at the time, and one day he took me to the city on a bus. He sat me down on the sidewalk and said, "You sit here and wait for me and I'll be back. I'm going to see a friend." And he just left like that. Never came back. And that's how my life with a family ended, with my birth family. In our family, we have a tradition of going back to China almost every year. We try for every year. I love China. China is my homeland. And the summer of 2006, my mom and we traveled to China together, and we went to the countryside, to this foster village. One of the homes that we came to, I looked in the corner and I saw a little pink speck caught my eye, and I looked. I saw this beautiful little girl who was just sitting in this sort of low stool. She looked like a statue, but there was life in her eyes. I could tell that she was really smart. The foster mom told us that she had CP, a cerebral palsy, and she said she was hopeless. And my mom said, "Well, I don't think she's hopeless." I think in that moment, my mom realized this little girl really needs help. And when we went back to the States, we raised close to $5,000 for the little girl. The little girl in pink, her Chinese name is Lu Zhenyi, and she's now in intensive physical therapy. Just to see her adopted would be delightful, it'd be wonderful. And if I go back to China next summer, I'm definitely stopping in Hefei just for her.
Our mom usually tells me to calm down and not stress out so much. And she always tells Sarah don't forget to do your work, or don't forget to practice your cello. We talk about being Asian in this community, you know?
Yeah, we'll be somewhere and we'll realize, oh, we're the only Asian people here.
Yeah, and we all might say that to each other, and then we just laugh.
Jenna likes to say that we're white on the inside and Chinese on the outside. But I don't know. I don't really think that's true. I think it's kind of a mix.
Like a scrambled egg.
I don't like eggs.
Yeah? Okay. My boyfriend's name's Andrew, and he's from South Korea. We met during my freshman year, and Andrew is a senior. Okay. Bye. Love you. Love you too. Bye. I feel really comfortable when I'm with him. And maybe that's why there's I think a special understanding that underlies two individuals that are both in the minority. Even though it's hard to put words to that understanding, I think that it does exist. One time when I was staying at his aunt's house, I saw his mom and she was putting on all of her makeup for the day, her different creams and the different eyeshadows and everything. And I remember just looking at her external appearance and just the fact that it was so similar to my external appearance. There's a nice comfort and sense of belonging in that.
The fact that I was probably giving up just because I was a girl doesn't really bother me. That's back in China. I'm not there right now, so I don't have to worry about that. In America, it's more like, I'm a girl, I can do what you can do, and I can do it in heels, so deal. Just because I'm Asian, you're supposed to be good at all these subjects, and no doubt you're in advanced classes, you're Asian. But I've had a few people come up to me and say, do you speak English? And whenever they do that, I say, well, I probably speak it better than you, thanks.
I was at camp once, and there's this little girl, and she just walked up to me and's like, I know Chinese, and then she pulled her eyes back and started gibbering. I was like, okay.
And what do you say when something like that happens?
Well, I just go like that and say, I know English. That's kind of mean, but you know. That is our wannabe band at band camp. I can't go to band camp this year because I will be in Europe with the Global Girls. And there's going to be 5 girls, I think. We're going to England and the Netherlands.
I'm going to the trip because I always wanted to go to England. I'm sure half of that has to do with Harry Potter. I haven't really face-to-face met any of the other girls on the board. The one girl that I have talked to most in the group is Haley.
I've been almost everywhere in Asia, but I've never been to anywhere else. And Europe is like the first place that I would go, and I'm like, yay! I'm taller. You have your looking for her. I like the Global Girls because it connects everybody together. Because before this, I had a few Chinese friends that have been adopted, and now I have like a lot of Chinese friends that have been adopted, and they know what's like when people say stupid stuff. They're like, "Oh yeah, I know what that's like." So how does that make you feel like when you're out with your parents and people are like staring at you?
I'm not really bothered.
Oh, she
doesn't care. I don't care, but I don't really care what other people think.
I do.
It's uncomfortable.
I'm a big,
It's uncomfortable for you.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. But I get so, no offense to my parents, because I love them, but I get so embarrassed. Because most of my friends, they look like their parents.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's good to be different.
I suppose. Have you ever considered going back to your orphanage and like trying to find any birth parents or relatives?
Yes. But I don't think that's possible, really. My friends have said to me, could you not track them down? And I said, well, I don't think so, because China's so far away. It's like the other side of the world.
And there's millions of Chinese people.
There's so many. China's such a massive country, and you know.
Do you guys like know your backgrounds, or do you ever wonder about those the small details? Yeah, the small little details that don't really matter, but they do.
Well, I only know where I was dumped.
Yes.
Outside the hospital.
I was outside an orphanage.
I was
under a willow tree.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about how old I was, like how many days old I was when I was, you know, dumped on the streets. But no, I don't know anything apart from that.
They don't give you any information.
Yeah, and even my note, I think, my mum only told me that it just said my name and when I was born, but it didn't give me any names as to who my family members were or anything. But stop staring at me.
Today we are meeting with Hilbrand Westra, who is the president and founder of Adoptees United the Netherlands, and he is really inspirational and also highly controversial in the adoption community. He feels that international adoption should not exist at all.
Our main point at this moment is to see whether or not international adoption should be continued. One of our issues right now is to try to have an international research about Chinese adoption. Many people in the Netherlands said nothing is wrong with China. Everything is covered by the CCAA, the central authority body in China, and because of that, we assume that everything is covered in a legal way and the process. But we could prove that a lot of things went wrong before the children went to the files for CCAA. So we want to have a possibility to see the original file. Adoptees can have a copy of all the original papers.
Why do you think they don't want the adoptees to see their files?
What do you think yourself?
Because they're afraid they'll find their parents?
What we know now by the Korean history, in this case, we know that a lot of files were falsified, fraud, papers were misinterpreted, mistranslated, etc. And many times we even have seen that many files were hidden because what we know now about a lot of Korean adoptees, they were not orphans. And many Korean adoptees who went abroad were always told they don't have a father or a mother. Most times they don't have even both of them. So there is a reason to let these children to be adopted. But what we know now, that this most of the time was not true. They find out that was much more information than they ever knew. Because of that, the possibility to finding the original family is much bigger.
I was adopted when I was 6 months old, but I went back to my orphanage when I was younger, and they have a note that my birth mother left on me, and it had my birthday on it, and so I know when my birthday is, and that's about the only thing I know. I would like to know if I have any brothers or sisters.
Okay.
I want to try and find them if I can.
It's quite important to do it as long as you can, because we find out that many adoptees, they do this too late. The middle organizations in the country of origin, most of the times when you come back, they say, yeah, we had a huge fire or there was an accident or whatsoever. So the lessons learned from our history, I would advise you to do it as soon as possible.
I think about like finding my birth mother, but I wouldn't want to make either of my moms feel unwanted.
So what we always say, adoption is something you take with you for your whole life. You can try to run for it, but it runs faster than you.
When I come here, you know, people assume that I'm Chinese, but I dress differently, and when I open my mouth, they know that I'm either from Beijing or somewhere else because I speak very proper standard Chinese. Whether I'm in America or in China, they know that in some way I'm a foreigner. I guess I'm a child stuck between two countries. And I don't know what that makes me. I don't think it makes me Chinese American. It definitely doesn't make me American. It doesn't make me absolutely Chinese. So I guess I'm kind of confused about my identity. I'm looking for a dye outfit or any sort of minority clothing because whenever I go to these places, I don't want to stand out because if I stand out, it's harder for me to talk to people and really be a part of the community, and they think I'm a local. Since I've come to China every summer, I've always asked, what minority group do I look like? And people think I'm Miao, but other people have said Yi or Dai or some other group. Each time I go back, I'd like to figure out what I really am.
哎，你好，你觉得我是外国人，我是从这里收养的。问一下，你觉得我像傣族的吗？
傣族啊，因为你样子的，为什么像傣族？是双眼皮，这两边高。哦，我们傣族，你看我们的
鼻子大大的。
大啊，鼻涕啊，都是爹妈生的，鼻涕是一样的。
好，谢谢啊。
没事。
Every time I come here, I get a different answer. Sometimes I wish I would just get the same answer. But this shopkeeper said I look Dai. So now I'm Dai. Other than getting dressed up, I go to villages, like Dai villages or Miao villages, minority villages where I might find people that look like me.
爸妈，他个像傣族。
哦，他像傣族嘎，
这是你们傣族。
是嘛，像我们傣族的嘛。
傣族有自己的方言，有自己的这个文化，有自己的。你们给有文字啊？
他的文字嘛是传男不传女的。
哦，
就是你的
等于说他们的这个文字是只能男孩子学，是女孩子是不能学的。
When you come into the world and you know that your parents, or at least your dad, thinks lesser of you because of your gender, something that you can't control, it's wrong, and you want to prove you know, I want to prove him wrong. We deserve fair treatment, and especially in China. I know I can't change a whole country, but I'd like to.
So we are at the Anhui Hefei orphanage right now. We're going to meet Hu Zhenyi, the little girl in pink. I see a little bit of myself in her because she's older and she's so strong, but she's probably had it tougher than I had it because of her disability, but I think that's what makes her stronger.
蹲下去，哎，站起来，哎，
哎呦，真棒！
不错，瑞现在做的越来越好，对不对？
做几个呀？不会数。
高不高兴？开心吧？
She hasn't been much with the family, but my mom knows a couple who adopted a daughter with CP, and they would like another one with CP. So, and they're very interested in her. I might be traveling with them if they adopt her. I would be their translator because when you adopt an older child, a lot of these facilitators that go with families don't know what to say to the child to, help them warm up to the family or how to feel okay about, going to a whole another world. I hope that Renyi will be able to have what I have now, a family that will love her for the rest of her life, and for her to have a place where she can call home and always just know that she's loved.
Since I went to Europe, it made me want to find my birth parents, even more because I realized I hadn't been looking for them. And it made me want to go back to my village where I would have lived and see if I could find my sister or something.
She would always say, I wish I had blonde hair and blue eyes like my Heidi, her big sister. So she knew she was different at that time. And so she was quite young, I'd say 4-ish, when she really started talking about where she was from and wanting to get more information. I just always told her there was no way that we would ever know anything. And that may be how it turns out. We may never know anything. Haley, can you see these papers? This is what's going to help us get started in finding your birth parents. And the first thing we're going to do is get a copy of your file, if they still have it.
Yeah.
And then we will go back to your finding spot and just ask some questions.
So in July, me and a group of girls that were adopted from China with me are going back to our provinces, and then we're gonna go to our villages and put up our posters that we've all made. I don't really have any expectations, but you know, it's always nice to see if there's anybody out there, like, who knows, maybe somebody could find a card and then it'll go all the way to like Shanghai or something, and then somebody be there like, oh, hey, that's my kid. But you never know.
那是这个小孩了。
你知道？
那穿蓝衣服的，就是在你50多岁的。90是好像蓝色的。
他是住的吧？另外住的这个就马上买肉把个小孩就这个。他跟他家这个女儿长得相似，看着把你看你打电话，他不电话嘛，我还不要动，我骂啊。
What? What's happening?
She looks like the daughters of her cousin. Maybe she was.都反正Oh my.
走了。
I'm about to meet not about to. Father. Yeah, maybe. This guy might be my dad. And he's bringing his other daughter, who is my big sister.
He has 4 daughters.
To compare and see if I look like her. And if I do, then we're going to do DNA testing and see if he is mi padre. Yes. This is really scary. So this is the guy that I think is my dad. And that's my sister, I think, over there. Maybe. Who knows? She's the second to last youngest.
And you are the first one. He come back home to Grove-Field.
经常哭哭呀，我就小，因为怎么都晓得，我让我多妈走。
Grove-Field, and your mom threw you away.
Can you ask him where my mom is?
妹妹，他问你，就是你想他妈妈在什么地方？
你妈在家里。
At home, not here, not in my house.
妈妈在家里。
It's been quite interesting, to say the least. What's really weird is all these people are here to see me, like my aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff, and yet my mom won't come. I mean, we asked them why, like a ton of times, like, why isn't she here? Like, she could take a day off, and like, oh, we have a shop at our home, and she has to work there and do that stuff. And so we thought that was kind of weird, but you know, whatever. If the DNA is positive, I don't know what's next. We're just gonna play it by ear and see what happens.
We're up in the Finger Lakes of New York. We have a little vacation house up here, and yeah, we just come up during the summer. I always wanted to go to China when I was younger. My dad told me we would when I was older. I probably want to go to China more now because I've met these people, especially like people like Haley, who's gone like as many times as she's gone, she's that many years old. And Haley and I have gotten pretty close since we met each other. She was really like very obvious about her want to find her birth family. She said, "I will be looking for my birth parents until I'm gray and wrinkly." And it just kind of surprised me that it can affect someone that much, I guess. Some of the bigger things like meeting my birth parents and going to China have changed a little bit. I mean, it'd be nice to know what my birth parents look like. Just, say, oh, I got this from my mom, I got that from my dad, and so on. But it's not this huge, quest in my life to find them, I guess. I'm happy with my parents now.
Me gustaría saber cuándo se dio cuenta de que era adoptada o cuándo tuvo conciencia realmente de que era adoptada, de que no eran aquellos sus padres.
Well, I always knew I was adopted when my parents told me. Just like how people tell the story of their stomach growing larger and larger, my parents would tell the story of how they flew to the other side of the world to get me. But I feel like my understanding of my being adopted is always evolving. I carry my experiences to share, like origami paper in my pockets. Traveling to talks, I know how to pick out the right pieces. Blue for racism, red for culture, green for identity. I can fold the colored squares using just the right words and give the parents a crane, an orchard, some shapely advice out of my sheets of memories.
My question is that how do you cope with the word abandon?
It's a negative word to me. It makes me sad to feel that, you say your mother, your parents abandoned you, that it doesn't sound very happy. But if it comes up, maybe when I'm explaining how I was adopted to my friends, then I correct them. I say I wasn't abandoned, that I was placed, or I was put into a better life. I think that even though 99% of me believes that I was really placed, I think somehow I can't get rid of that 1%. And I think there's definitely a part of me that wishes I never heard the word abandonment. I think one of the strongest ways that the word abandonment has affected my life is just my perfectionistic tendencies and my failure and my fear of failure. I think at this point in my high school career, it's what I struggle with most.
Que en su punto de la escuela superior es I'm sorry I made you cry.
I think I'm always searching for a way to compensate for the fact that I'm a girl and that I was probably poor and that for some reason maybe I wasn't good enough. And I think in my learning I always tried to be the best that I can to compensate for that, that initial abandonment or initial rejection. Even if I was really placed, I can't get rid of that small thought that maybe I was abandoned.
Thank you. After the formal talk, a Spaniard lady approaches me from the audience. Me llamo Yolanda, she says.
Quiero que lo tengas. A mí me ha servido mucho.
Tú no tienes tu niño todavía.
No, pero tengo dos piezas reservadas para ella.
Vale.
Sabía que esta pieza era muy especial.
Ella sabía que she knew that this was going to be very important for her, and now she knows why. It's important for her to give it to you. She has two others which she's keeping for herself and for her daughter, but this was to do with her process of adoption, but she wants you to have it.
Oh, thank you so much. Oye, sabido, dile que había sabido cuál era el destino de esta pieza.
Tell her it's such an honor for me to meet her.
Es un honor conocerte.
Gracias.
She unties the jade pendant from around her neck and then reties it around mine. The delicate carvings and milky hues of the jade feel smooth and comforting and mysterious. She says, "When you go to China to work in the orphanage, perhaps you will take care of my daughter." Of all of the baby orphans in China, in all 34 provinces, I plan to go to only one orphanage. The chances of me working with Yolanda's baby to be are near impossible, but I know I will see Yolanda's baby in every orphan's face. I carry Yolanda in the jade. I carry pride in my Chinese culture. I carry an adoptive mother's love. I carry a new sense of purpose. The necklace makes me want to pray more than a church or monk or mosque, because it found its way to me by some act of faith. Because at these conferences, I speak of my adoption story as if I've stopped living it. And the truth is, I don't know where my life will take me. Because in that necklace, I carry both my mothers. Because someday, maybe, I hope, I will fall into my Chinese mother's arms, just as that necklace fell into mine. I look into the eyes of the jade salamander perching on the pear, and I think of Yolanda and all of the mothers like her who are waiting for children like me.
We found out a family was interested in adopting the little girl in pink. The mom, Cheryl, really wants me to be there because of my connection and because of the deep roots I really have with Junyi.
跟谁呢？姐姐啊。姐姐是吗？
干啥？
你高不高兴？你跟我说你马上要到哪里去了？出国找谁啊？哦，找你的妈妈。
妈妈在找妈妈。
找妈妈。你高不高兴？
高兴。
这是谁送你的？润一。
你的妈妈送你的是不是啊？
哦，我的妈妈。
I want this experience for this little girl to be every bit as special as it was for me.
Hi. I can help you with this heavy thing.
Okay. It's so good to see you. I'm sorry you have to bend down. I know, that's okay. Hi. This is Gavin. Nice to meet you. I'm Fong. And Kevin. Hi, nice
Good to see you.
I can't believe we see Renee tomorrow. Oh no. I know. Where's the doll?
These are all ones that your mom sent me. That's what's hard about this last year of waiting is how much he's grown up.
Yeah.
Especially since, I mean, normally you wouldn't have all these pictures that we have had. And this is our family. That's Garrett, and then Grayson. My husband and I adopted our daughter Grayson, who's now 4, in December of 2005 from China. And she was 11 months old when we adopted her. And she was great socially when we received her, but she was very delayed physically, which we expected could be possible with a child from an orphanage. After about 4 months, we went to our pediatrician for just a regular well check, and he told us the words spasticity and cerebral palsy. Spasticity is muscle tightness, which is a symptom of cerebral palsy, which is brain damage to the gross motor portion of the brain. It was very scary and upsetting, but we found out that we can manage it with our family, and we wanted to help another child with CP when we did adopt again. On Valentine's Day, 2008, I got an email from one of my Yahoo groups. It was just Hani's story about the little girl in pink. I said, this is our girl. You're sweating too. The fact that Fong is here is really also part of the miracle, because Fong is the one that, you know, saw something special in her that August day, and without Fong's persistence, Renyi could maybe still be in that foster home and having to sit in a chair most of the day, definitely not being adopted. So we have a lot of love for Fong and Hani and their family because of what they've done for Renyi. Oh,
go watch
there.
Royals.
Can we come in?
你好。
She is a little bit shy, but just come in, come in. Come on, 来进来。
妈妈抱。
妈妈抱抱来。Take care of her.
还记得姐姐吗？啊，记得，我也记得任意。哎，这个饼干好吃吗？任意好吃吗？
She's looking around. She's just looking around.
任意，那是哥哥，是哥哥，哥哥，你叫哥哥好吗？哎，哦，谢谢你。
That's good. It's true.
Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah.
Hi, Renyi.
Say 你好，说你好。I've visited a lot of orphanages and held a lot of kids, but I've never really, other than my own adoption, seen an entire adoption. A huge shock to me was how easily Renyi adjusted to her new family.
妹妹，
这是妹妹，任意的妹妹。I don't want her to forget what she's been through, even though it might be painful, and at times she may think she should be ashamed of it. I think if she holds on to what she has accomplished in the past, she'll be able to take one more step into the future and really progress further in any situation, but especially hers, because she's gonna have to overcome a lot of things. She needs a lot of encouragement, and she needs proof that she can do it. And she just needs to look at herself and know that she can, because she has. Hello. Hi. 喂，你看谁来看你了？姐姐。你在看书是不是啊？是吗？
你抱抱。
啊，好好好，我抱。哎呦，哎，好重啊！ 长胖了是不是？
长胖了。
啊，对对对。你星期三要去美国，回美国，和妈妈、爸爸回美国好吗？好。
不好。
为什么？
我一个人去。
不，你不是一个人去，妈妈、爸爸还有哥哥要去呢。It's a lot to think about. 好，姐姐现在要去坐飞机了，好吗？飞机会飞吗？还是会走？或者你要听话，听妈妈、爸爸的话，好吗？不哭啊，听话，听话。不哭啊，听话。让妈妈抱好吗？来，让妈妈抱，对。So, okay. See you later. Okay. Thank you for all your help. I really believe that things happen for a reason. In Chinese, there's a word, it's 天意, which means, it sort of means destiny, but it really means the plan of the heavens, the purpose that the heavens have. And I don't believe whatever's up there, God or a greater power overlooks anything. And he definitely didn't overlook this special little girl. And he didn't overlook me, and so thank you, whoever's up there.
Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home. After the trip to Spain, I stopped crew first, and I pretty much stopped because it was just too much, and I ended up switching into yoga, which was polar opposite in some ways. Because crew, I had to be on the ball all the time, responsible for everything, taking initiative, being very verbal. In yoga, I was just in charge of myself, just in charge of relaxing. So it was a really good change. What I'm doing now is testing from the United States Figure Skating Association. And it's kind of like karate, I guess. Like, you're kind of getting your belt as you move up. It's not really competing against other individuals. Sometimes it's kind of relaxing because you can just be in your own world and you don't have to engage with others. You can just think about the different turns and the different positions. It's kind of meditative in that way.
Hey Brooke, how are you? Can you just stop asking me questions?
Are you an adopted Asian?
I am an adopted Asian.
Where are you from?
I'm from China.
Are you from an orphanage?
Yes, that's not even a funny question.
They're just like, yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness, I swear.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Thank you. These are the times I wish I was white.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not sorry.
You are white. I don't know what
You
you're talking
are.
about.
I am white.
You are
I'm
white.
a freaking Twinkie.
Good. Well, you gonna make the call?
Like right now?
Yeah,
Sure.
like right now, right here?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, it's on hair for 3 Chinese people, a girl and biological parents, possibly biological parents.
I have 2 of these.
Really, that late?
Yes.
FedEx lost the shipment for 3 days. FedEx lost the shipment.
I waited 14 years. I can wait a few more days.
Mama, ways back.
Oh, this is the 6th birthday.
There's Haley right there.
Always the team.
This is actually a young man we know, and this was Haley's 13th birthday, and this was the DNA that we did test to prove that they were her family.
What time? Oh, that's October the 8th.
When I found out that they were my birth family, like I said, I was kind of torn, like, should I go back and see them or not, because they didn't want me in the first place. But then I thought about, like, if I don't go back now, I might not ever have a chance to again. And so, and knowing that my birth father wanted me, that helped too.
Says I was one of them. Oh. This is it's going to give it to the family. Oh. They're going to love this. It's beautiful. This is 2002.
I'm excited to see my birth father and my sisters because I've met them before, but I'm kind of nervous to see my birth mother, and I'm not really nervous to see my little brother, but like she gave me up a long time ago, and so she might not really want to see me, even though like she says she does, but it might be a little awkward, I guess. But I'm kind of nervous and excited at the same time.
Oh, it's 20 after. You're going to go down and get them?
I'm going to downstairs. I think they might be in the lobby. Yeah. When I have them, I'm going to call you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, let me see.
Okay, we'll see you in a sec. Okay, bye.
Hi.
Hi.
Morning.
你好，欢迎到我们家来啊。
谢谢。He said, welcome. I'm Shannon.
你跟着叫也听不懂，不要叫什么。
She said her language could not be understood by Haley.
哎呀，知道叫妈妈。
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
这是爸爸。
爸爸，我知道是爸爸。
这是爸爸呀。
爸爸。
这是妈妈。
是妈妈知道。
妈妈。And let me introduce. This is the younger brother.
Younger brother, yeah.
我小那个小弟弟，小弟弟看姐姐，叫姐姐，叫姐姐。热了，太热了。When to take off, they prefer to hold by the hands. That's the Chinese way. Yeah.
看啊，这是他的出生，然后他出生说是1995年，2月20号，对吧？2月20号来说，你们当时留了一个字条给他。
对，是留字条。
这个看一下，你看一下这个是不是这个字条啊？他给了一个复印件给他，
复印件看了吧？
是不是这么？是这个字？是谁写的？
是我妹写的，我字不会写。
你妹妹写的？
我妹妹二姨写的。
这是在合肥。在合肥，你看他那个时候小的时候就这么点点大，然后就爸爸妈妈就把他们带走了。
就从那时候就带走了。
就那个时候。
这么好的小时多了好漂亮一个啊！This picture is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're all the beautiful picture. 你看，过圣诞节的时候是戴个小红帽子。
That's in Sunday school, at church on Sunday mornings.
所以是教堂里的那些朋友的孩子在拍照片。你看，
新基督教。
新基督教，你看，这是
This says her second birthday. 1, 2, she's turning 2.
这个是2岁时候过生日，头发都长出来了。We're talking about her hair is 2 years old. Is already have lots of hair.
When I was little, I would always think about like meeting my birth family, and we just talk all the time. They tell me everything, and then I forget that they speak Chinese and I don't. It's kind of weird to get to know somebody on like a personal level with a translator, but it would be nice if I spoke Chinese.
We wanted you to know that we love Haley very much. Very thankful that we have her as our daughter. When she was little, she always asked if she had any siblings in China, any brothers or sisters. And I always said, oh, I'm sure you have a big sister and probably a little brother. But we had no idea there were 2 more. We wanted to know who actually abandoned her.
生下来就实地他叫爸爸回老家了，回老家爸爸就舍不得给人家，爸爸回老家我就在家们想完我又没办法，都是对他的死人做狠了个了，没法养活了，又负担不起了个了，就叫他夫妇呢帮我个奥米，就是小时候晚上就拉着呢，我就在家给他包这个头一打，他叫我奥米包我就行了，个纸条放那揣着钱揣着奶粉，意思就叫我们包一下揣着给人民。你们奥米就跟他们3样一刀，就送到那个家山，送到家山我家那个堂哥在家山住啊，晚上就送到他9点多，送到他家等，放他家床上睡了，睡他们就3家回来了，回来我们家那个嫂子啊，没送到那家没见到人家，我反正不是的送到人家，不是在你自己给你好个了，就给我们就送着就后来就要么就他个送着我们就放心了个了，放着心了后来个啥子，后来他爸在家回来就估计讲就没小的送走了，他爸就哭了个了，就这么个，让我辞退到家乡去看看，就他送到国外我们也不知道的事情，我们一直还在顾着在人家。一直还顾着，一直是在马上在人家，不知道他送过。他后来没到。
They have 3 daughters already, and this is the 4th one. And in the countryside, you have to try every way to have a son, because you have the farm job, and the son will be the support of the family. And because in China we have, the welfare system is not very good. If you are just getting older, and the son is going to support you instead of the daughters. Because this is very popular in the countryside. They came to Ma'anshan, and under the help of their friends to the hospital to check. And through the kind of checking, they know that she is a girl. But before that, they hope that this is a boy. No, but this is another girl. So, abortion in China is not against the law, but it's because it's too long. It could not do the abortion, and also the friends and the big brother and promised them that you can have this child because you can help her to find a good families instead of the abortion. Then they said, okay, they will do it.
Did they give her a name?
那个时候可给他起个什么名字嘞？
没有起
名，新人没起。我在想，我都不晓得他们报我也不知道。
不是那天我看我妹妹家我就写了个出生日啊。
I got it. Yes. Any other questions?
Haley, you have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions?
I covered it. Thank you. We're gonna go visit my birth family's home. I'm gonna see where I could have grown up, and I'm excited to get to know my sisters and their friends and my family more.
I don't know who it is.
Apparently, I'm related to everybody here.
All this is the neighbors. We're gonna close you up.
He's scared you are cold.
Yeah. So you keep this button up.
About 2 years old. Is this your room?
Yes, we just knew about when I started in high school. Qing Li and me lived here. It's our bedroom. You can see on the carton is the bedroom.
So you all shared this room?
Yeah, so there were two beds. There were two beds here. The big one is here, the small one is here, and there are two desks here. We study here every night.
My oldest Chinese sister is Jun, and she's 24. She speaks English, and she's getting her master's in chemistry. The second one is Lee, and she's 22. And then there's Chen, who's 19. And then Meng, he's 12.
Halina, cheese. Okay, thank you. Good. Yes. It's time for lunch. In China, we say over the table. 你这样他吃不到就麻烦。Mother is going to give Haley help you to get the bones out, and you can eat, but you don't have to eat them all. You can left something there if you don't like it. This is in the countryside. This is
the chicken was fed by ourselves.
The chickens, they're chickens.
Yeah.
我讲下次到我们中国来，到我家来玩。
Daddy says that if you come to China again, please come to my house and to be the guest again. Yes.
谢谢。
妈妈说 she said thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the day.
Yeah.
谢谢你 so much.
谢谢你。
拜拜，再见。
再见。拜拜。再见。这手不怎么。
再见。
谢谢。再见。
再见。
Goodbye.
说可能是明年夏天就再来了，再见。
I'm sorry. 拜拜。
我
Pennsylvania. Does she know states?
Well, I went. I came from Hunan province.
Really?
And all the way to here. I want to shovel my panda backpack.
Oh, yeah.
I love you, Haley. Hey, sit down and press cross applesauce.
How can you not like her? Don't you wish you had a little sister?
Thank you. Okay. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. What do you want to do? And that's my sister and my little brother and my China mom and dad. After I found my birth family and I heard the whole story of how I came to be here, it just made me think that there's a reason that I'm here. I'm not sure what it is yet. And I'm not going to go out there and tell everybody, oh, go look for your birth parents because I found mine. But some people don't want to find them, and some people really, really want to, but they can't. And so each situation is very different. So I would say to somebody, if they wanted to find them, then go for it. But if they don't want to find them, then that's their choice, and they don't have to, so yeah. And he's a small guy, too.
When Haley found her birth family, my first reaction was, I guess, jealousy. But of course, I was happy for her, because she's been wanting it for a long time. But it did leave a little bit of a lasting moment of, oh, now I want to find my family. Because, I've kind of always told myself it's impossible, especially because it's China. Meeting other adoptees, it helped my understanding of how other people feel about it. I'm pretty much any other teenager. But when you have those moments of self-doubt and feeling unwanted just because you were given up, you have other people who understand what you're talking about. So that's always nice to have. That was me just guessing at what I look like. This is from a picture. I was gonna do one from a mirror down here, so then I just gave up.
Is that your Chinese name?
Yes.
That's really easy. I'm very jealous of you.
It was really easy, but I still messed up, so I put the watercolor in it. I hope no one will notice.
I think I got the most complicated Chinese name ever. My China dad named all of the children, so he named me. And my Chinese name is Zhu Yuan, which is, Zhu is their family name, and then Yuan means having two families or something. Having a better Chinese name and having a Chinese name by my China family is just, it means a lot to me. All of us, this whole adoption community, we have this commonality about us, this unity. We're sharing two cultures and all these common threads, but at the same time, we're each at our own place in our own journey. It's sort of like a journey going backwards because it's a journey of our past. It's our road home. And we each have our own road and our own path set out for us. We don't need to worry about how other stories are compared to ours.
My journey is to find more of myself, find more of my past. In my world, an ideal world, Fangtopia, like my little planet, it would be a mix between America and China. And it would be most of China, all the vendors, the food, and the weather from America and the clean air. And also I would have my biological parents somehow meshed together with my adoptive parents. But there's no Fangtopia, so there's only the world.
Just turn her around. There's Mom and Daddy.
My daughter Ruby is now 5.
No, it's Johnny. Hello.
She loves dinosaurs, fairies, and knows she's going to be an astronaut.
It's a kite. You want to try it?
I've learned that there are no clear answers to give her. Ruby's journey will be her own, and the questions will be hers to ask.